If you're a small form factor enthusiast, you probably have struggled to find a highly performant GPU that isn't a stupidly large size. Even the 5070 Founders Edition, which in today's standards is a pretty small card, ain't even that small. It's still 2 hole slots and it's long. It's too long for this beautiful little case. Thankfully, Colorful has answered our prayers and has brought us the 5070 iGame Mini. A very short, delightful little single fan GPU. And it's a 5070 and it's got a weird box. Looks like a creeper's legs. Inside of the box, we have our documentation, quick start guide, as well as QC. And here is the GPU itself. Oh, it's got some heft to it, okay? It's small, but it's not light. And just taking a look on the outside, it's because the vast majority of this is pretty dense heatsink. Probably going to be essential because this is such a small card. In fact, as I've become more used to seeing like triple slot behemoth heat sinks on top of 5070s, it feels like this really shouldn't work. But let's compare it to the Founders Edition, which is kind of one of the smaller cards on the market. Compared to the Founders Edition, the iGame Mini is substantially shorter, but maybe a little bit taller. It maintains the same 2 slot thickness and is actually like just barely thinner than the Founders, but not in a way that would matter for pretty much any configuration. In terms of the type of cooler, while the 5070 Founders Edition has the same look as the double flow-through coolers found on the higher end GPUs, it actually is only flow-through on the one side, and this goes directly into a board that's about this big. And you can actually see the boards are of similar size, but it probably doesn't have the same striking V cutout that you'll see on the board of a Founders Edition. However, we can see that it's very technically a flow-through right at this edge, where you can see just a little bit through the heatsink. And if you look from this edge, you can kind of see the cutout in the board there. So this isn't just a square GPU. They say it's OC, which I think is kind of surprising when you're using such a small card to go with an OC model, but it's an OC in name only because they're adding 45 megahertz to the boost clock and nothing to the base clock. It's basically not OC'd, and it's not gonna perform any faster. Well, we'll talk about performance in a little bit. But in general, it's a RTX 5070 that has 6,144 CUDA cores, 192 5th gen tensor cores, 48 4th gen ray tracing cores, and it's got 12 gigabytes of GDDR7 VRAM, access to NVIDIA's NVENC encoders, and has a TDP or TGP, I don't know, they all have a dumb word. Basically, it's supposed to pull 250 watts, more or less. They recommend a 650 watt power supply with this, and it connects via a 12 volt 2x6 connector. In terms of your display outputs, you get the same as you'd find on the Founders. That's 3 DisplayPort 2.1B and 1 HDMI 2.1. And at the end of the day, it is just another 5070. We're gonna put it in a system, and then we're gonna talk about performance, but first we're gonna talk about our sponsor.
Finally, the cold, miserable, dark days of winter are over, and I can go outside again. I haven't seen the sun in 10 years. But that doesn't mean the trails aren't still a little wet. Vessi's Weekend Neo and Stormburst shoes are built to keep your feet dry and comfortable thanks to their signature Dymatex material, which Vessi claims is 100% waterproof. And all their shoes are stylin', light enough to pack for spring trips, and they're easy to clean after hitting up the old muddy trails. You need a shoe that keeps up with your life, so grab your pair of Stormburst or Weekend Neos at vessi.com/shortcircuit and save 15%.
In terms of aesthetics, I think it's kind of interesting that they went with like this very slightly sparkly aluminum. And we got some shiny sheen on our iGame Mini. I think it's honestly pretty tasteful for a lot of gaming cards. There's not a whole lot you can do in terms of style when you're trying to just really make sure that you're cooling something well. I do wish that we didn't have this ugly GeForce RTX non-addressable RGB logo. There is actually addressable RGB on the card, but it's only this mini logo. I'm not too worried about RGB. I like my computers to be silent and unseen. That's why I like small form factor, so I can tuck it away somewhere else and not have to have this big honking thing on my desk. Let's get this in. I've been an advocate of moving the power connectors up here, Because I think it always sucks when you're just like, oh, here's this beautiful GPU, and it's like this honking huge cable, especially for high power GPUs. Now with the 600 watt 12 volt high power connectors, it's not as big of a deal. It's just that, you know, the trade-off is your house might burn down. Is there another model of 5070 or 5080 that would fit in this case? Like, this is probably the only 5070 that fits in this case that I can think of. All of them are typically much longer and larger. So if you want to build in this case and have a relatively high power GPU, this is literally your only choice. And here we are in a running system, though it doesn't really look like it's running because it has a 0 RPM fan mode, and also it looks like that RGB was either a lie or requires us to install the drivers, which if you would leave one negative comment about not seeing the RGB on this GPU, I quit. So the RGB isn't working because you need to download the iGame mini software, which I'd probably skip and just stick to the normal NVIDIA drivers for controlling the fans. You're not getting that much ARGB, so you're not really missing out on much. But look at how cute it is. But the looks don't matter if the frame rate sucks. So let's see if this tiny form factor is compromising performance. In terms of gaming performance, well, it's a 5070 and it's barely overclocked, so it performs pretty much identically to the FE in every single game at any resolution. If you want to get more depth on these results, feel free to head over to the labs article. We'll have that linked in the description. But you can feel contented knowing that you're not sacrificing gaming performance, which bodes well for potential thermal performance. Now, when we look at these cool little scans that we got of the GPU, we can see that it has 4 heat pipes on it. It really reminds me a lot of the low profile CPU coolers from the likes of like Noctua or Be Quiet, which makes sense because it's basically a low profile small cooler. And apparently it's doing the trick. It's actually doing a better job at managing GPU temperatures than the 5070. What you might worry about would be your hotspot temperatures on your GPU, but NVIDIA doesn't give us access to hotspot temperatures anymore, so we have to take the GPU temp at face value here. And in our combustor heat stress test, we can see that the Mini is actually cooling better than the FE version, which is crazy, by like a wide margin, like 5 degrees. And we're seeing that at relatively similar clock speeds and similar power draws with our PCAT. I'm honestly really surprised. I would expect it to perform thermally worse. Basically, whether it's a synthetic workload, a productivity workload, or gaming workload, this thing is going to be thermally fine. However, we don't know if that comes at the cost of sound, because you can cool a lot of stuff by just making those fans rip. So let's get into a game. If we pair all the sensors, I can turn the other fans down and just let it really fucking throttle. They put a 13900K in this PC for some reason and gave it the dinkiest of dinky coolers. But I put this in the system because I wanted to hear how loud the GPU is. So far, doesn't seem that much worse than the absolutely screaming case fans because our CPU is pinned at 100 degrees Celsius because we put a 350 watt CPU on a 65 watt cooler. Okay, did the CPU fan go fully off? I think it did. Okay, we're gonna turn that back up. We're gonna get that one up a little bit. But basically, right now, you're not hearing any fan noise from the case fans. This is all just the GPU, running at about 30%. And we're in Cyberpunk at 4K with DLSS on, I think, medium. It's performing well, and the GPU temps are at 85, and that's with like it being relatively quiet. It's definitely not as silent as like a larger heatsink CPU would be. And if we go up to like 100, that's pretty quiet for 100. And like, honestly, like it's not an annoying whine like a lot of loud GPUs get. Maybe it's because of the enclosure that we're in. You know, wow, it's a lot of heat coming out of there. We're probably seeing our thermal performance actually hindered by this case's design. Like our fans pulling air from this far side of the GPU where there's very little ventilation that isn't it just trying to kick out that own exhaust. There's not a lot of pull in there. It would perform better with something that has more direct access to fresh air. And that's probably why we're seeing like 10-ish degrees more than what we saw on the bench. Sound-wise though, if that's 100%, that's really not that bothersome. So I wouldn't really be all that worried. It died. I think the CPU overheated. Most small form factor cases tend to be very concerned about GPU airflow and do their best, you will usually find that a GPU will be performing worse in a small form factor case compared to a larger case, but this seems like a particularly problematic enclosure. But yeah, if this is at 100%, which is probably rarely gonna run at unless it's really, really, really running hot, honestly, that's pretty good. It makes a triple slot, like massive 5070 just kind of look embarrassing. Because I mean, like, you just got this tiny guy, but here's the issue. It's the price. This thing, also not widely available in North America, we had to import this bad boy, is selling for about 5,199 yuan or $738, which is a heck of a lot more than the $549 that is already probably too much for a 5070, which sucks because this is like the only thing like this on the market. So I hope that they are able to drive enough sales to show that there is a actual audience, people who want this kind of tech, because man, this thing's sick. And I'm tired of stupid big GPUs. But you know what I'm not tired of? You. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, why don't you watch one of our other GPU videos? What about the 5080 roundup if you want to see some stupid big ones?